Hi Diana. Your monogram is actually really easy to do, and I did it as a demo in uh, the weekly meeting. So if you wanna look at this example, it should be in the Canvas conferences. But I'm just gonna, start it from scratch. And the first thing, of course, is to go to File, New, and create a new file. And then you want to place your sketch on your in your digital environment first. So we're gonna go to File, Place, and find that sketch, select, and click Place. It's gonna follow you around, follow your mouse cursor until you click somewhere, and your file is fairly small, so you can just click and release, and here it is. Um, to trace over this file, what you want to do is you want to lock it, because if you don't, it's just so easy to move it by accident. So we're gonna put a lock on this layer. And by the way, the layer panel, if you don't see it, it's open on my computer, but to open it, you would go to a Window, Layers. So that's something that is very important for you to have at that stage. So I'm gonna lock it. See that the little lock appeared, and it's no longer selected because everything that is locked, it's basically not selectable. And of course I can unlock it and select it again, but I don't want to do that. All right, so the next step, I want to create a new layer. There's a new layer button right here, and that will allow me to create the artwork and have your sketch in place. I'm gonna start with this one because it's the easiest one to, well, actually they're all very easy. I could just as well start with this one, so maybe I'll do that. I'm sorry about this. So this one is very easy. All you need to do is, I think, just the line tool, and you don't need any fill for that. You just need a stroke color, and you can make it maybe a little wider. And so what I'm doing right now, I'm holding the Shift key, and it's gonna help me to make a vertical stroke. I could continue the same way. I could make another stroke like this, and from here I have a couple of options. Basically I can create another line, but I think the easier way would be to connect them with the pen tool, something like that. So I basically clicked on both of those anchor points, and here it is. You might like that angular look, but I just want to show you that you can actually control how those edges appear. If you open stroke panel, window, stroke, looks very small right now, but there are always additional options which you can, if you double click on the name of the palette, it will show additional options. And the ones that you're interested in right now would be the caps and the corners. So you can just kind of click around and see which look you like. You might like the rounded version, or you might like the angular version, like so. So I'll leave it up to you to decide which one you like. I'm just gonna switch it to rounded so that it's all consistent. Um, and let's go ahead and let's collapse it again, because we're not gonna need it for the other one, I don't think. So, so we've done the first one. That was fairly easy. Now I'm gonna move on to the next one, and let's see. Maybe I should do this one because I think that one you can get a gist of that from the video, from the other video. So I would rather do the one that hasn't been done yet. So for this one, I think what we want to do is take advantage of the character option here, the type tool. Actually, there are basically like multiple ways we can do that. We could use the same tools. I'll show you how to do it with the previous tools I used. So we could do it with the line, like so. I could just make a line, and I think what I want to do is actually make it flat look, right? And what I want to do here is actually just a copy of this line, because you want to hold the Shift and Alt if you're on Windows, or you want to hold Shift and Option if you're on Mac, and you can just make it a little smaller. Like actually, I did it wrong. Okay, I'm just gonna select this anchor point and move it up, and I'm also gonna select this anchor point and move it up. And then I could basically use the pen tool to finish this monogram. Let's go ahead and let's activate this anchor point because I'm about to continue the line. I want to basically finish up that circle. I think we can just go, we can do two things. We can click here and then click here, or we could try to finish it in one step. So it's a little bit of an experiment what works better. Right now it looks a little uneven, so I basically moved it up a little bit to make it perfectly horizontal, and then adjusted the handles of the anchor point. And of course we still have to finish it right here. So I'm gonna switch back to the pen tool and click on the anchor point again and just click here. Alright, and then to exit from the pen tool you would click on any other tool. So that's a start, and we can do two things. We can either again make it a little more rounded, or I'm holding Shift Alt again, and you can also do it like this: edit, copy, edit, paste in the front, and move it down. And for this one I'm just gonna do a different style, give it angular look. And what else can we do here? We can probably actually that's kind of neat. You see, like I switched to the bevel option, and I really like that effect. So So maybe we can play with this or do something like that. So let's go ahead and try this option. So right now this angle is very angular and these are kind of flat. So I'm gonna try to synchronize them visually. So for that, let's go and outline stroke, object path, outline stroke, and now the stroke became a shape and I can custom adjust those angles. And there are a few things I can do here. I think the easiest one would be maybe to add an anchor point. Add an anchor point here and maybe delete another one here. Just kind of experiment with the different angles and then maybe doing the same thing here. Add one, delete one, something like that. They're a little uneven, so maybe you should decide which angle you like better and make them similar. So it's more of artistic choices right now. I'm sure you can play with that. And of course you could do the same on this one, just kind of play with those angles. The third way to create this, or the second way to create the same monogram would be using the type tool. And I'm just gonna move this one away and continue to work on the same sketch. So for the type tool, what we can do is just use the type, and I will type the letters. I'll type the letters DV like so. Next, actually what I want to do is type them separately. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's type them separately. Again, there are like many ways to get to the same place. We can. Okay, let's do edit copy, edit paste in place, and I will just move it like so and change this D to letter V. All right, and then now what I want to do is just use reflect tool to reflect this D, and something like that I think will work. All right. Another thing I could do is try to find maybe like the typeface that looks a little more similar. And of course you can experiment with the different typefaces here. It's also gonna let you preview them. But overall, I think we are pretty much destined to use the custom letters because all of those V's are very slanted. So I think what I'm gonna do is just use some generic one, just the same that you probably have on your system. Yeah, I'll just stick with the Myriad Pro. And I'll use fine, it's not letting me select it. It's a little strange. So I think because it's it's a little strange because probably because I have two of them selected. All right, anyways, So, so both of them are Myriad Pro, or you could use a different typeface that's similar. And what I want to do now is convert those two letters into shape. Let's go to type, create create outlines, and now this object became a shape. Our next step is to open up the D, and maybe before we even do that, let's go ahead and let's make both of those letters a little bigger. So to select two objects, you hold the shift and make them a little bigger. All right. And by the way, how beautiful. So we probably could probably reuse that. Well, we'll see what we're gonna do basically. For right now, I'm just gonna move V a little closer to the D, and maybe what I could have done is actually use an italicized version of that V. So let me step back a few times before I outline the text. It's always good to have a copy because you never know when you want to come back to that. So might as well do the copy right now. So edit copy, edit paste in place, and I'll just move those two letters on layer 4 and lock them. So, so what I want to do is actually try italic version, and I think it's just gonna fit better. So with that in mind, let's try to make it bigger, just like we've done before, and we're gonna move the letter V a little closer. So I think that's a better match overall. And let's just make it a little bigger. All right. And you can always turn it on and off just to see how it's working. And you can also expand those layers and just custom show them, hide them. I think our next step is to make a little gap here in letter D. And I think the easy way to do that, there are a few ways we could do that. One of them is to use the eraser. If I double click on it, I can change the size. Let's go ahead and give it a smaller size and just make something like that. And you can hold the shift key to, oh, of course I have to select it first. Should select that letter. And another thing that I should have done is convert it to the shape, because it's not gonna work on the letter. So missed a couple of steps. Type, create outlines. I'm gonna hide the V and convert. Hold the shift key and make a cut on letter D. And I can repeat it here just to match it a little better. Or maybe actually it was, I'm not sure how it was intended, but we can maybe zoom in and see what it was meant to be a little closer. All right. So a couple of things here. Somehow we should move. Um, we should move that letter D a little bit, I think. And well, one way to do it, we could probably use eraser again. I think that might be the easiest. And just do something like that. I use the group selection because that object is a group. And use the arrows to move that element a little closer, like so, even closer. Right, so that's one way of doing that. I'm sorry that it keeps popping up. And let's see. We also need to make a couple of adjustments here, I think. I think we can get rid of this anchor point. Just to use delete anchor point. I don't think we really need it. And now we can turn on the letter B again. And I think our last step, or last step for now, would be to combine those letters into one shape. But honestly, this is a good stopping point for week 2 if you're like trying to catch up with week 2. That's, I think, about as far as we got during the week 2. So just using the create outline, and it's okay to keep those letters separate for now because you might want to move them a little bit. um, so I'm gonna use this as a stepping point here. And the last one that I'm gonna show you is this one. So this one is kind of interesting. I think what we're gonna do here is the ellipse tool. Yes, we could actually use multiple tools. We could use the type tool and do something similar to what I've done to this monogram. But it really depends what kind of typography you have on your computer. So if you have something that looks very, very similar to your sketch or something that you like, you're welcome to try a different approach. But I don't want to use the type tool right now because my typefaces may be different from what you have, and it just may not be very, very helpful. So for that reason, I'll just use something that is universal, like a circle. And I will just make that circle match your sketch. And then obviously we have to make some adjustments here. I think I should also make it a little bigger. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Alright, so what I want to do right now is make an anchor point just where the circle becomes a V. And then we'll open the circle. Let's do that. And I will add another anchor point right here and click the delete. on the keyboard. That's gonna open the circle. And now what I could do with this anchor point is just move it down, like so. And also adjust it a little bit. Lastly, I'm just going to use the pen tool to expand that line. And if I hold the shift key, it's going to make it exactly vertical. And to exit the pen tool, I'm going to just any key, or you can press V on the keyboard. So that's a good start. Let's go ahead and let's finish it. I'm gonna create another vertical line. I'm assuming that should be vertical. And by the way, to make sure that they end on the same level, what we can do is do view rulers, show rulers, and zoom in a little bit. Make a guide. Might need to move that anchor point a little down. And if we want to adjust the guide, should unlock them, and that should allow me to move the guide like so, and I can lock them again, just so that I don't click on the guide. And all right, so now that I have that baseline, I can again just make it another line, and here we go. And that angular look, of course, we can control that with the stroke palette. If we go here, actually here, that bevel, or actually maybe it's the, yeah, I think the bevel one will be the best choice. And after that, the process would be similar to the other monogram. You can do the outline stroke, you can play with the corners. I would suggest to make a backup of this version before you outline the stroke, because you just never know if you want to go back and play with that. So that's what I would do if I want to modify it further. I would back it up first and edit copy, edit paste in front, and just move it up here. And you can also always custom name those layers if you want. So go by the numbers or whatever system you choose to track them. All right, and then lastly, just oh, I think it needs to be a little closer here. I think we didn't talk about this. So well, I mean, we could simply move it. That would be okay. And then we should, of course, make some adjustment here, like so. Maybe back it up again because we made some changes. And we can always also take a look at what's coming up, because we're tracing over the sketch, so it's just at some point we have to turn it off and work without the sketch. maybe it was better like that. Who knows, you know? So that's these are artistic choices that you have to make. And I'll just show you how to outline it again. Object path, outline stroke, and you can explore the different options with the corners, or however you want to do it, maybe like something like that. So lots of things to try. Another thing that we can do, it's a little bit of a jumping ahead to the next week, which is I think week 3. Forgot which one. It might be week 3 or week 4. But we talked about the stroke profiles. I think it's relevant for your monogram though to talk about that right now. So you could go this route, you could modify them like that, or it's a good thing that we did the backup, right? So let's clone that backup. Edit, copy, edit, paste in front again. And I'll just move it somewhere here and put it back on that layer because I want to keep this layer as a backup. And in fact, I could just call it a backup. All right, so what we can do with the stroke profiles, actually very easy and effective way to create something interesting. And so basically the program just does it for you. And you can just experiment and see which one you like. If you don't like any, that's fine, but maybe you like something from this set of options. And I think that one kind of looks interesting. All right, anyways, another option that we experimented with is arrowheads. I think that's also very interesting to try on this type of monogram. Let's see what options do we have here. I'm just gonna do something crazy like this. And maybe that's not the right one. Let me try another one. Maybe I should do something simple like this. Yeah, I'll just do something simple. All right. You can make them smaller to fit the size of your monogram. You can also put the arrow on the other side. Maybe I should choose another type of arrow. So again, that's just some ideas. May not be the best choice for your monogram, but you can always find something else that you like. All right, so I think that's a good stopping point for this video, and For the cursive monograms, the process would be just to look for the examples of the cursive font that looks similar and modifying it. So that I think is explained well in the exercise. And you can also do the pen tool. So you could trace it over with the pen tool. All right, so these are just some ideas. And for this monogram, just go ahead and watch the video. Um, if it goes too fast, then I can help you with that. But it's very, very simple process, and it's also explained in the exercises. Uh, so that's about it. And just let me know if you have questions. And that should be a very easy assignment, because your designs are very, very. First of all, they're very good sketches. It's really fantastic. You have so many good ideas, and they're also very easy to do. All right. I hope that's helpful, and stay well.